replenish from an absolute savage weekend.
Absolutely.
I'm asking for the fans.
Sure. I definitely did a little bit more than I usually do on my morning routine on Monday. I definitely did glutathione. I shot me some thymosin alpha 1. At that point, I shot some heavy duty NAD to make sure that, mental clarity was there. I was ready to rock and roll. Obviously rolling into Monday, it's business. So, it was a great weekend, phenomenal weekend. And Michael Hearn, surprises me. I'm walking in my door playing with my puppy.
That was the first time you were quiet for at least 30 seconds. So you guys don't know what we did. So his wife and I was planning this because I wanted this thing to happen. And so we went over to their house before they got home, and we snuck in. And it's Florida, so be just careful you don't sneak into somebody's house. But we were hiding behind the couches when this guy walked in, and we jumped up and scared him. So,
oh my God!
Happy birthday!
Thank you, man.
Happy.
You guys made a big dent for me, man.
And then you absolutely crushed it over the weekend. And again, I got to say this is that I met some new people, new friends from you, through you, at the party that I'm in touch with. And it's like, it's always interesting to see when you're around somebody and you like that individual and how they work and stuff. And then those people that are around them, it usually works out that way. That way.
Well, that's what I said. And I said in the video, wait till you see it. I seen a draft of probably about 15 minutes. It's amazing. There was quality people there. Usually we say, our circle gets smaller, but it's just more quality people. And that's all that was there. I could vouch for every one of those person that was in that room. So it was, it was amazing to gather that many awesome individuals and icons like yourself, and be able to spend some time and just have a good time. Right. It's just there to have fun and you guys come support me on my birthday. So it was amazing. It was just amazing. A big shout out to you, big shout out to Tsikouris and everybody else.
Was Tim Gardner there?
He was.
He was. It was like, holy cow! I saw some people. I'm like, this is great. It's great. It's great.
Yeah. Definitely. Like I said, the good people there. I mean, I don't know how many professional baseball players, ex-baseball players are there, or just celebrities in general, or just regular people that are just awesome friends, right? Or my brother who came in town that I barely get to see. I mean, it was good. My sister-in-law, and she always comes down, but she never gets to stay at the house. So it was amazing for that too as well. And you got to meet them. It was just.
Did you send that video I sent to you? I sent you one of the. Okay, all right.
I did. I'll tag you in his account. I'll tag you in his account so you can see.
Do.
Yeah.
I have a question to start this off. Sure. Jessica, you guys were thinking Teresa going down there doing a glutathione, like a treatment at some point down at Titan Medical. Could you tell us what kind of treatments you have at Titan Medical that somebody can come by and do?
Sure. Yeah, it's a great question. So we do both. We do injectables. So you can come in here and get an injection of glutathione or B12 or an amino blend or NAD or even semaglutide. Or we can do an IV on a lot of these different things. So you can get a glutathione in your IV with NAD and a B complex with biotin. And we have these in intermuscular injections too. So anything we put in the IV, we can do an intermuscular injection here at Titan Medical Center, right when you walk in the door. So it's very simple, very easy to do. But if you want the hydration factor and you want it to get straight into the bloodstream, that's where an IV can come into play, and we can service you there too as well. So very simple, very easy to do. All you have to do is just come on through the door. If you want these intermuscular injections, you can become a patient. It's very simple to get those too as well.
I think that's my game plan next time I come out, which will be sooner than later. Like in April, come out there.
Yes.
Right before I start this, do some nice Titan therapy. Really do a recovery weekend out there with you guys.
Yes. We'll make some special IVs. That's the thing. We can make custom IVs too. So it's not like a cookie cutter thing. We have some different packages for people because some people might not know what this or that does. But at that point, that's where we can really customize it and really, build it up into a super bag. Super, super bag.
I love that. I think we got one here. Jeffrey, we got something.
Sorry. Is there a Type Medical in Dallas? So Type Medical Center is not in Dallas, but Type Medical Center can service you in Dallas, all of Texas, all of the United States. It's real simple and easy. All you have to do is just call or text 727-389-3220. We are looking at Texas, though, for a different state. If we go out and start really expanding out there, Texas would be one of the states that I would like to do for sure. We already got a really, really strong patient base there. And I like the state. And as far as the laws and everything else, it's very accommodating to what we do.
I think it's its own little country. Those guys,
for sure.
They do it, right?
They got their own grid.
Man, I love that. I love that.
Yeah.
Give us another one.
That's where I'd have my second home. There, Arizona. Should we maintain taking creatine if we're laid up from surgery for 4 weeks or for weeks, like at least 4 days a week? I mean, creatine is not just good for muscle; it's good for the mind too as well. So, I mean, you could say yes or no to this question, I guess. But at that point, like, it's not going to hurt you to stay on creatine if you're laid up from surgery. Would it be more beneficial when you're out of surgery? Yes, of course. But there are some benefits of creatine without just muscle enhancement or endurance.
Yeah, I love red meat creatine. I think it's also in not green apples, red apples. But yeah, creatine's. Here's for me, I guess. It's so inexpensive, and it's something you can do. And again, I don't know why people. It's like, well, I'm not going to diet if I'm not training. I'm not going to take my vitamins if I'm not training. And that's one of the biggest mistakes I think 99% of society does. It was never. It's like the diet's always whatever the diet at that time is. Take your vitamins, your supplementations, because you're not just trying to be today. But you're also trying to set it up for later on.
Well, I mean, and the thing about it is too, Mike, is like when you start taking away some of those different things, there are different things that could be helping you get over this sickness or whatever it may be, or even get over healing faster. So at that point, like you're taking away more things out of your body that could possibly help. So, with this BPC 157, TB 500, if you're laid up from surgery, get over that surgery faster, so you can really utilize creatine if you really want to orally. But like Mike said, red meat's the big one. I eat a ton of red meat. I know he does. That's one way to get it. But I know people do like to supplement with creatine too as well. So, like I said, the first thing to do would be get over the surgery as fast as possible, taking your supplementation, whatever it is, regiment-wise, maybe introducing some of these different peptides that for healing. And at that point, then you can just go about what you're supposed to be doing. And you'll be able to do it faster.
Yeah, just for anybody here, I don't know why you would stop your multivitamin or stop your D. I think you guys all understand well enough now that when you're trying to get that size, also Peter, 15. But like 15 to 25 is that beautiful moment in life where you can put on so much size, so much strength, so much habits created as well. That if anybody's in that age range, eat, don't play around. And this is the hardest thing. Johnny, give them your advice on this. If you can, in your 20s, that's your work your ass off stage. Definitely. So you're set up. So 30, you can go, oh, well, I live this kind of lifestyle because I set myself up, compared to most play in their 20s. And by the time they're 30, now it's like they're locked down. And now it's that Groundhog Day, day in and day out.
Yeah, I think it's super important to get in that healthy routine in your 20s for sure. It's one thing you're like, oh, I'm 21, but listen, 21s it's okay. I mean, we're seeing so much the bad things about alcohol. Alcohol is actually went down in usage, with younger audiences, so that's a good thing. But at that point, like getting into the healthy routines, right? Eating correctly, training correctly, because these are your prime time years. Your 20s, you can put on a lot of tissue. You can recover a lot better. You don't feel the aches and pains that you do as you get older, right? So this is like your foundation you're setting up, for the rest of your life, almost to a certain degree, right? And at that point, you're going to want to, train right. You're going to want to eat right, sleep good, right, and get all the benefits you possibly can to grow your body in every way you possibly can, right? That's mentally and physically too, as well. So, and that's educating yourself with the mental part and self control. I mean, all these different things come into play, and then at that point, these are things that will help with consistency, and consistency will help with your training and your eating too as well. So, be consistent. Start getting in the routine of doing things now. I totally agree with what Mike said about this. Like, your 20s is like everything, and if you start messing around your 20s at the late 20s, you're going to start dipping, and 30s are not going to be nice. And then you're on that, well, you better start getting in gear at this point. And it's not as easy as your 20s for sure. And then as you get older, it's definitely not easier. It gets harder. I think every couple of years for sure, it's going to be a little bit harder on you to recuperate, recover, and be able to grow like you could before, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah, but Titan Medical can help you. So here, the reason why we're saying this, just so you guys understand, is if there's any youngsters here, and you guys want to create this incredible life, start it now. Now that
Absolutely.
doesn't mean we're saying to you over 25 to 65. We're not saying it's over with. We're just saying there's a difference when you're young. There's no aches and pains. There's no, you go to bed at 12 and you're up at 3. You're good to go. Yep. It's an amazing thing. And so there's a lot of benefit. I think the great thing is, and John, I think everybody I met this weekend had that mindset, is when you do hit 30s and 40s, now you got some grit. You got this mental toughness that will say, okay, I'm staying in the battle. And that's badass. And that's life. It teaches you to get stronger and stronger as you go through life.
Absolutely. What don't kill you does make you stronger, 100%. All right. So do you recommend full body 4 to 5 days a week? I don't think so. I wouldn't recommend full body 4 to 5 days a week, right? I mean, full body 4 to 5 days a week.
Are you a cardiovascular person? Or is that what? Please give us more than that, because if you're saying, sure, if you want to go train every single day and you're doing one exercise for biceps and you're not going even close to fatigue, yeah, I mean, if you want to keep moving and grooving and you're 50 years old or 60 years old and you want to force blood into that area, that's great. Yeah. If you're saying, 5 days a week, full body, holy shnikes, just look how far you went to the opposite of Arthur Jones. It's like Arthur Jones saying, one body part every 10 days. And so growth, movement, different.
Right. Yeah, it's one thing if you're 6 years old and you're trying to do a full body or something like that. You're just trying to get blood into the body parts and just, get some activity in. It's a whole different thing if you're really trying to train and really do it right.
Arnold, every single day. That boy's in there. Jeff, I'm going to pull you in on this one. Jeff also works with Arnold. So, Arnold, every day, full body, for movement, right? Can you hear us, Jeff? Oh, I don't got your audio, Jeffrey.
Yeah, full body every single day, going through that routine, doesn't miss, and that's not. And he's traveling. One day he's in Austria, one day he's across the world, and then I'll see on his Snapchat or feeds, they're doing the hotel workout. Same thing. Still sticking to the routine. Doesn't matter where they are, what they're doing, and you're not busier than him. I'm sorry, you know what you guys. Saying
that was way over my head. Jeff just hit a home run, and I'm reaching for it.
Wow. We're not busier than that guy, and he's in there doing it, right? Yeah. And he's already been at the top, and he's still doing it. So,
it's true.
Yeah. And again,
you got to pay credit where credit's due for sure. And then you look at some of these different things, like we always talk about. Look at these people that are doing it and have done it, and they're still doing it. And he's definitely one of them. Arnold gets a lot of hate nowadays, but I'll tell you what, Arnold's a pretty badass dude, man. Always has been. I'll take what he said, away. But everything else, man, he's definitely showing the way. He's showing the way, and a lot of people have idolized him throughout the years, and he's been a prime example of what you can be and how you can develop your body and other things too as well. Nobody becomes an actor or governor, and that's what I'm saying. I mean, he's done so many great things, as far as that goes. So credit where credit's due, for sure. 100%. And he's not busier than Arnold. That's for damn sure.
That's great, Jeff. Holy God, that hurt my soul. That hurt my soul.
I don't mean.
We got stories. Tell them about when Dieters, they got off set in Canada off this last TV show, his hit TV show for Netflix. Do you remember the conversation we had with Dieters?
Yeah, and it was something along the lines of Dieter's sleeping and he hears the knock at his door at 3 a.m. or something ridiculous. And he goes, "Come on, we're training." Arnold says that to his friend. And he's like, 3 a.m. We're on. What's going on?
And they just got done filming at 12. Took 3-hour nap, back training at 3, 4 in the morning, back on set at 6. And again, you're talking about a guy in his mid to late 70s, and he does it. And here's something for anybody here that's older. Besides the peptides that John and I talk about all the time, is that movement is the greatest thing for arthritis. Now, the unfortunate truth is that there's a chance at some point in your life that you may deal with this, but movement and forcing blood into that location is the greatest thing.
Yeah.
So how do we do this? How do we keep moving, keep working, trying to be the best we can in that pain? John's got the BPC, TB500.
Yep. Those are good. I mean, even using Hercules potion with the arginine, the L-citrulline, pushing blood too. More blood flow, the better. And obviously, listen, I have arthritis. I need a total shoulder replacement on my shoulder. So at that point, I know how that feels every single day. And it does feel better when you are warmed up or you do train, for sure, 1,000,000%. And BPC 157 and TB500 definitely help me every single day. So, that's definitely a way to do things.
This, I think, is a great question because I think a lot of people believe this.
So it says, at 30, did I hit my physical genetic peak? Well, I don't think it's an age when you hit your physical genetic peak. I think it's when you hit your physical genetic peak. So, you know what I'm saying? I mean, have you trained your utmost? Have you, slept? Have you done everything optimally as best as possible and for how long? And then at that point, you can look around and say, have I hit my genetic peak? Because you will. Yeah, I think it to a certain extent. But I don't know. I mean, some people just keep progressing too as well. So what is the genetic peak, I guess?
I see more. Yeah. And also I see more 35, 45-year-old guys that have been training and D1 athletes and went pro.
Yep.
And they looked all right.
Yep.
Obviously you're an athlete. And then they get to that age where their testosterone is dipped. And they go see Titan Medical. And this is the whole party when I'm looking at these. Antonio, is that his name?
Yes.
Louis Vuitton. So, Wow.
Yes.
Never competed. Never really took it serious. Holy shnikes, this guy's walking around like a Greek god. Right? Yep. And so, trust me when I say this, all these people didn't do anything in their 20s and 30s. And now their T levels dropped. And so they go to Titan Medical. They get their T levels back to a really optimal position. Now they look better at 40, Absolutely. Like this guy, 45.
And they feel better.
Like nothing close to 20. You put his 20-year-old self next to the 45. And it's like Billy Gunn's 62. Yeah, and you put Billy Gunn now, which is great that we've been in the magazines or on TV this long that we can compare 25-year-old Mike O'Hearn and Billy Gunn to these close to 60-year-olds today. And you go, well, what's the difference? Well, they're better now. Holy sheesh. So no, 30 is not your peak.
No.
I would get off this live right now. Call Titan Medical. Get your blood work done and find out what you need to do.
Absolutely. Is there any benefit to BPC injected close to the injury versus anywhere it's systemic? Yes. That is what you want to do. You want to inject closest to the injury. It's not going to work systemic throughout the body. It does not work like that. TB 500 does, BPC 157 does not. So, and even with TB 500, I would inject it closest so it doesn't have to travel as far. And these work together perfectly, so use them both if you can. Is there a limit on how many peptides you can take together? Should you take breaks from peptides? So,
I want to know this.
Yeah, there's not really a limit on how many peptides you can take at one time, but one, are you overlapping on different peptides like GHRHs, right? So, is there a benefit of taking hexarone with CJC 1295 at the same time? What up, Mona?
I have to jump on here because I had the best weekend. I had the best weekend in Florida. Dude.
Yes, it was phenomenal.
I told Mike, I was like, you got to let me jump on there and tell everybody, guys, the best. Yeah, we finally got the opportunity to go out. We never go out because we always work. So we had to have dinner and we went out and we had a DJ.
It was awesome. It was awesome. I mean, we got to have dinner at the house. And more personal. Some of you guys surprised the heck out of me. You guys jumped up like.
How funny was that? You didn't expect that, did you? At all?
Man, I did not expect that. I did not expect that.
Did you tell all these people what we did? We just ended up at John's house before he came from work, and we were hiding behind these couches.
Oh my God! They just
you
pop up
in,
like.
You're greeting the dogs. You're like, hey, doggies, blah, blah, blah. And you're like, surprise. Your face. It was so funny.
Oh my God. Total shock for sure.
We love being
you guys got to see the Motor Enclave.
Yeah, I think, thank you for getting us out, really. We needed it. It was a great weekend.
Anytime. You guys are a breath of fresh air for me. So at that point, anytime is a great time for me.
Hey, he said anytime. Be careful what you wish for. He said anytime.
I don't care. Hey, listen. I told my guys, listen. Hey, let's go. Tampa's waiting. Hey, so the government just put up a thing that they're talking about abolishing property tax here. Can you imagine that?
Nice.
No income tax, no property tax.
Yeah, I heard that too.
Woo.
That's amazing, John.
Yeah. I'm like, come on,
That's
Florida, let's go.
All it means is you're paying for the trip to Greece.
Let's go. Let's go. I'm ready. All right. So is there a limit to how many peptides you can take together? No, there's not a limit. But are you going to overlap on peptides? Possibly, right? So you don't want to do that. Should you take breaks from certain peptides? Yes. So like MK677, you only want to take that peptide for like 60 to 90 days tops. And then go on to another different GHRH peptide. But there's a whole bunch of different other peptides you could take. There could be sexual peptides like PT141. There could be healing peptides like BPC157 and TB500. There could be weight loss peptides like AOD. There could be other peptides like Epitalon, which is a life extension peptide. It's an anti-aging peptide. And there's more. There's a slew of other different peptides out there. So, it really depends on what you want to do. And at that point, you can take them all if you really want to. So if you want to take PT141, GHKCU, Tesamorelin, BPC, TB500, I mean, you're taking all these at one time. So at that point, it's not a problem, and you'll get different benefits from different peptides.
So I also want to say for that last one is I'll take a break periodically. First off, because my skin is so freaking Viking, Irish, Scottish, and so I bruise easy, so when I do all the shots and stuff, I tend to bruise, and so there'll be times that I'll take time off because I have to do shirt shots, no clothes and stuff like that. So I stop for those reasons as well. But as soon as the shot's back over, back on. And Johnny does videos also showing how if you have sensitive skin or something like that, or you're a knucklehead on doing this stuff, I would ask him. So, or if you're scared of needles, also talk.
Yeah, different oral versions of different medications we can help out with. As far as injections, don't worry. I would say it's like 7 out of 10 patients that come to Titan Medical Center have never done an injection before. And I've dealt with this from the very start, where I used to walk people on the phone, talking to them, and then through FaceTime. And then I was like, listen, I'm going to start making videos. So I made the videos for injections, which intermuscular, subcutaneous, for different ones like BPC and TB500, where to inject, how to inject it. So there's a lot of different videos out there that I made content wise. If you want to go to YouTube, type Medical Center, you can check those all out. And I'm continuously making more. So if somebody like calls in as a patient, they ask me, hey John, like, where should I inject this at? And if I've never done it before, I'm like, listen, I'll make you a personal video and I'll send it out to you. So I'll do that, for somebody that does that. And then I'll post it online, obviously, because if this person asks, there's probably somebody else out there that wants to know where it goes to as well. So the more information I can give you guys out there, the better.
Love this question.
Yeah. So what are your thoughts on PRP injections versus peptide use? I think they both have high benefits and they're both different, right? Where PRP,
I think that's just, holy cow. Those are completely totally different entities.
Two totally different things.
There's no verses. There's no
super beneficial, right? Super beneficial. I mean, PRP, you're talking about your own blood, and then the growth factors out of there. That nice yellow gold serum that you get at the top. That's what you really want. And injecting that in the body can do so many different things. From vampire facelifts, where they inject in the face. They can inject it for sexual function too as well. They can do it for healing properties in different areas, joints, knees. I mean, so there's a lot of different use for this. And then there's peptide use. And peptide use is used for a whole bunch of other different things too as well. So both have superior benefits, whatever you want to use them for. Different though in I guess, classes, what they do.
Yeah, I think of peptides as recovery and optimizing your body as best as it can, so it's running like a Ferrari. I think of PRP as something completely different, where it is a space maker. It is put between the bones and the ligaments to give space. So if you have bone spurs as you get older and stuff, it gives you space there and helps try to regenerate.
Right.
But yeah, two different worlds.
Yeah,
but
that's what I would say. Both huge benefits.
Yeah,
right. And
PRP once a year, twice a year if you can afford it. A stem cell, same thing. Once or twice a year if you can afford it. But peptides, 365 if you can.
For sure, absolutely. Yeah. Are there any therapies, peptides that could help someone with shingles? So thymosin alpha 1 would probably be your best one.
Say that again.
Thymosin alpha 1 is going to be the best thing for this. Shingles. So shingles usually come if you got chicken pox, and usually advanced of that. And usually you would get them on later in life. Older people usually get like a shingles next.
Is that right? You either get it as a kid or you get it over 50.
So usually,
right on
as a kid, you usually get chicken pox.
Oh, is that what it is?
It's chicken pox. And then later on, you get shingles. You can get shingles earlier on in life, though. Like, I think 30-year-olds get shingles and all that. Like,
I did not know.
Yeah, so
I always heard the 50, and I'm like, I turned.
They got the vaccination
within
for shingles.
A week or two. Boom, I had it.
Yeah,
but I got lucky.
The kids nowadays don't need to. They won't worry about shingles because the kids nowadays get chickenpox vaccinations. Like Peter had a chickenpox vaccination, like he was littler, and at that point he never got chickenpox, and he'll never get shingles because of it. So it's crazy how that works. But thymosin alpha 1 is probably going to be your best one for that. Glutathione, I definitely add in there too as well.
Hopefully it's not the itchy. I got lucky. Mine didn't scar or anything, and it wasn't itchy or anything.
It didn't mind. They put calamine lotion all over my body, and then they wouldn't let me scratch myself at all.
You're talking about Saturday night, 3 a.m. when you were really. I'm just kidding. What else happened that night, Joey?
Nothing like that.
It would have been a good trip for Jeff. Jeff stays up till 5, so.
Yeah, Jeff. Yeah, you would have liked it for sure. Peptides for bone density, building and joint healing. So peptides for bone density, I mean, I don't think there is a peptide that Actually, CJC, testosterone would help with bone density for sure.
Is that because you're raising your IGF?
Your IGF-1 levels.
And there's better recovery, and so everything is healing?
Absolutely.
Instead of deteriorating?
That's one. And then joint healing. I mean, nothing to heal a joint, but except for BBC and TB500 as far as that goes. That's going to be your best case scenario as far as that goes. I mean, I'm anxious to see what these stem cells do. Like, John hit me up again. They want me to come out. I'm like, I'm anxious to see what it's going to do for my shoulder. And if it does, guys, I'm gonna document the process and I'll scream it to the high heavens because I want something to work. So, but BBC and TB500 get me through day to day for sure.
Most bone density is from stress. You want to stress the body to keep it strong. So it's like, you guys know about like when the astronauts go up and they have to wear these weighted outfits and do some type of workouts up there because there's no gravity. And so their bone density deteriorates quickly. And so we're down here and it's the same thing over years and decades and stuff. So my recommendation, and I always go back to this, is I love seeing these 70. Again, women's bone density is much worse than men's. And so it makes me smile and just, again, I love that I've been in health and fitness so long that I've seen so many of these 70 to 80-year-old women squatting 200 pounds at 115 pounds and their bone density at that age, where other 70-year-olds are falling down and breaking their hips. It's like, lift. Everybody here should be lifting weights, not just to look good. We're not all going to be Johnny here, but the goal here
maybe Michael Hearn here.
The goal would be to stress it.
So the thing I would say is this, and this is going to separate everybody, is as you get older, females and males, and especially females, bone density goes down. That's why, like, you say, "Oh, I've shrunk," right? Your bone density has went down. How do you combat this? In combating this, I would definitely look at hormones. Testosterone is going to increase bone density, and usually postmenopausal women are having the bone density problems, and it's because their testosterone is low and their hormones are off. So you can combat bone density, I mean, completely. That vitamin D, like there's some major drivers here that, at that point you could retain and increase bone density too as well. So I mean that's one thing that if you're getting
talk
older,
about that though. Talk about that, because I think people think I'm keeping alive and keeping my bone density where it's at. That is not true. Bone density, and go look at, I think Chris Duffin did this the best. He tested his training partner, who at the time started weightlifting for the first time at 54 years old. He is the Masters champion now at 71. And his bone density is at 8.5, and it went from a 4 to an 8.5, so it doubled.
Wow.
From those ages of 54 to 71. Now that's just, first of all,
that's insane.
A 4 and a 5 is great. Just so you guys understand, a 4 or 5 is great. This stuff can get bad. It can go down to a 1, a 2.
Yeah.
But to get it to an 8.5, that's superhuman.
Yeah.
And so it's the same thing like the 30-year-old said earlier. If I peaked at 30, in no way have you peaked. Again, I wish you guys, when these videos come out of John's party and you see the crew, it's like, it looked like an old school expo. Because at the old school expos, when I'd go in the late 80s and early 90s, everybody in the audience was in shape. It was like,
that's right.
Everybody at your party looked like they were Greek gods walking around. And I just thought, wow, this is great. This is a great crew of people that really push it. 25, or there was some 60-year-olds there. It's like, Absolutely. Good job.
Yeah. Demographics across the board. In shape and dressed up.
Style. I'm excited to see what my boy does for me.
Everybody. Joints begin cracking since powerlifting. Is MSM worth it, or is there a peptide for that? I mean, I would definitely say the peptides are the way to go as far as that goes. What is MSM? I'm sorry.
It's joint support.
Oh.
It's vitamins.
No. The only thing I would say is glucosamine is supposed to be good for joint health too as well. But peptides, BPC 157 and TB 500 are going to be unmatched when it comes to this.
Yeah, I wish we could somehow drill this into you guys. The joints and ligaments, BPC, am I saying it right now? And TB 500 are amazing, and it's the first thing that's really out there that can help your ligaments. So it's like this is where you go to it.
Mm-hmm.
And then also make sure that your T level's at a right range too.
Absolutely.
Because maybe something's going on with your estrogen. Your estrogen's out of whack and your T's are low. And so now there's a lot of cracking and you're going, why am I feeling achy and my joints hurt and everything hurts?
Yep. Estrogen can be off too, for sure. It's a great point. How can one boost their natural growth hormone after long use of synthetic? So this is one thing that I always warn people about with growth hormone. I'm like, listen, growth hormone, am I going to say it's bad? I'm not going to say it's bad, but I'm saying that if you start growth hormone, you start using growth hormone, other negative side effects can happen. If you stop using growth hormone, will your levels suppress? This is a possibility. They're probably not going to be where they were at. And as we get older, growth hormone levels do go down. That's why people start utilizing growth hormone, and that's understandable. But there are better ways to up your natural growth hormone levels. And when we talk about raising and boosting your natural growth hormone, actually having your own pituitary produce more of its own growth hormone, then we talk about peptide therapy. And then we talk about GHRH peptides, CJC with ipamorelin, tesamorelin, hexamorelin. These are going to produce more of your own natural growth hormone. So if you're off synthetics, this would be a good way to pivot and be able to help your body produce its own natural growth hormone again. All right.
I have a question. If somebody comes back with a prostate number at 4, is this where they would need to talk to the doctor and get an approval before doing anything else?
Yes.
Okay.
If you come back at a 3.5, we're probably going to want you to go to urology. There's like, if you're at a 4, you're definitely going to go talk to urology. And urology, like the best thing to do is you're going to get a finger test. And then if they think that something's going on, you're going to get
Johnny, why is that the best thing?
Because they can actually feel in there and they can feel what's going on.
Oh, yeah.
I've never had it done yet. I'm
just asking, man.
I don't want to have
I saw Jeff smiling over there and Bobo and everybody will be. I'm just saying.
Jeff, you guys are gonna have to get this done too. So you guys can smile all you guys want. Karma's gonna come around and get you guys in the ass and not the way you like it. Because I don't want no damn finger up my ass, but it is what it is. So I haven't done it yet, but that's the best form of attack. It's either they're gonna do the finger test. They're going to do an image possibly, and at that point, they're going to want to biopsy if there's anything in there and see what's going on. And that's the best thing. I have seen people come back at like 10 or 12 and me freak the hell out. Like, oh, this guy's got cancer. For sure, this guy's got cancer. And I know these people, I have to talk to them. And then send them to urology because they're like, no, man, my PSA has always been high. I'm like, this is just not normal, right? So they get the biopsy gets cleared, and at that point, they're okay. And they get a letter from the urology that says, hey, listen, we did the biopsy. It's 100% clear. You're good to go with treatment. So I've seen it happen, or even somebody have a prostate infection, and then at that point, take medication and then get it down too as well.
There we go.
All right. What's your opinion on MGF peptide added to BPC 157 TB 500? Well, I don't know any pharmacies that are producing MGF peptide.
Could you jump back for a sec? What is MGF?
It's like a growth factor peptide. Like it's supposed to help muscle growth tremendously.
I got
so at that point, like they use MGF. You can use that with follistatin because there was a pharmacy that was making this back in the day. Probably like 5 years ago, TaylorMade was making MGF and they were making follistatin. And when I could get a hold of that, I definitely would get a hold of one of those models. Pretty expensive stuff, but it does work.
And that is a muscle builder. Gotcha. Okay.
All right. A blood test work is how to find out your T level. Yes. So doing a blood test through Type Medical Center, we have those panels on there to look at all your hormones and all the other stuff that's going on too, like your liver, your kidneys, cholesterol, blood cell counts, your thyroid. And then we want to look, if you're a guy, obviously we're going to look at prostate. Then we're looking at free and total testosterone levels, estrogen levels, progesterone levels, growth hormone levels, B12 levels too as well. So it's a very in-depth test.
It's pretty cool stuff. I mean, thyroid.
Yeah.
And that's not all they do. They have other tests as well. Like I know a lot of people here when I first started today was asking about creatine. And somebody was doing 3 grams, someone was doing 5. And like I was saying, I do 5 first thing in the morning, 5 before workout, and 5 after. I'm 15 a day. And I love it, mostly during my strength phase. So, and I also did a test, a panel of all amino acids. And it was just a really eye-opener for me and a learning experience. So, guys, they can do a lot more than just, I know everybody here just wants the T level, right? I don't care about nothing else. Let me just get the T level. It's
that's what they base everything on.
So, but I just like the amazing part of the whole thing working together.
Of course,
the thyroid is fired up. Your body, your fats are good. Your health, your liver and kidneys are kicking ass, and you're like, and the T levels at a good range. Now you're just like, holy shnikes.
Yeah, when you talk about optimal health, you can't just focus on one portion of the body or one thing. Like I always go back to the car. But the car is driving, right? And let's say that your T level is your engine. So you have the engine's pumping, and you have the transmission. Transmissions, feed the tires and moving it. Well, transmission's off. The car's not running as good. Tires are off. They're not running as good. It doesn't matter how much power is in the engine. It can't get to the power of the wheels. So it's not going to move as fast. It's not going to move good. And at that point, it's the same thing. Testosterone levels could be through the roof. That does not mean everything else in the body is in place of where it be. It needs to be in harmonic balance so everything's working properly and you're feeling optimally. Testosterone goes real high. Estrogen goes real high. You're going to feel like garbage. You're going to be crying, and you're not going to be able to get your D up. So those are 3 things that are going to happen. Let's talk about fat deposits or possible gynecomastia that's coming later. And that's just, we're talking about just estrogen and testosterone. Let's talk about the other things that are in balance too, or need to be in balance. Your liver. So you filter your body. You want to make sure that's running optimally and filtering everything properly. Kidneys the same way. So, I mean, all these things, and your thyroid too. I mean, like I said, everything in the body has importance. It's an ecosystem. And you take one thing away, everything's going to fall or it's going to have a lot more stress on it. So you don't want that. You want everything equally distributed stress-wise so the body's working like it properly should.
There was a lot of guys in the 80s with me that only focused on the T level. And by such a short range of motion, it's, this is early 80s, and by the early 90s, they were done because it was so tunnel vision on one aspect of health and fitness. I just want to be monstrous and look like this, and it's like, wait a minute, there's an amazing body there that I'm glad that I don't know why this isn't, that I got lucky enough to be the slow tortoise, just take my time. And it's like, this is now 30 years later from that point, and we're still here. I'm at the Arnold this weekend. Booth 1723. Titan, my little man, will be there, who had a great time in Florida. Mona will be there. Our friend Teresa is going to be there. It's going to be a great weekend at the Arnold Classic. Yeah. But again, Arnold took care of his health, and that's why he's still there. He's still walking around. Yeah. So, guys, not just worry about the one aspect, but worry about the whole bloodline.
Yeah, absolutely. What are your thoughts on supplementing daily with L-citrulline? I think it's a great idea. I think it'd be an even better idea if you got, arginine and L-citrulline together. Or you could just take Hercules Potion, which is injectable. It has L-citrulline in it, injectable L-citrulline, with arginine, glutamine, ornithine, lysine, proline, taurine, NAC, and L-carnitine. So you got a better mix for sure. But L-citrulline is great. Vasodilator, blood flow, pump. I mean, you get so many benefits from citrulline. So it's another good one. Heart issues and stuff like that, citrulline and arginine. Precursors to nitric oxide too as well. So yeah, excellent.
It's gold. It's gold. I do it on my days off for recovery.
Yeah, it's good. Don't hear many people talking about glutamine for recovery. We talk about it.
No, that's not true.
And everything.
That's not true. That's the first thing that everybody talks about.
Yeah, I'm for real. Like glutamine, usually for recovery, everybody brings up glutamine.
Mr. Trebek, I'll take things that have never been said for 500. That's
red meat.
Glutamine again.
Huge. Do you use anything
Everybody's
for your
doing
skin?
that, right? I do.
Yeah, no, for sure. Certain food products, glutamine, GHKCU for this one, glutathione for this one too as well. But foods, I mean, you're definitely going to vitamin C, vitamin E's. I mean, like intake some of these different things. I think that'd be the best thing for you.
Yeah, keep that thickness, keep that collagen in the skin as long as you possibly can.
Yeah.
Hey, what's going on with the copper? Are we still able to get that?
So topically, yes, for sure. Injectable, I'm trying to make sure that we can. It was bouncing back and forth with the pharmacy, but I think we should be all right.
All right. If you find a bottle, put that aside for me.
I got you.
And by bottle, I mean 12. Can you talk about that?
Listen, there's some other things that I've been looking at too, like methylene blue injectable. Like we have that at our disposal. So I want to, possibly see about, incorporating that with some different therapies with some people. I want to make sure they're going to be good and it's going to be really, really good for patients. I know there's a lot of spat and a lot of talk about methylene blue, and I've looked at the research and the data on it. It does seem interesting at a lot of levels, and that could be something that could be added to the mix too as well. So
Jeffrey and I were just with Kennedy's right-hand man talking about peptides, and one of the favorites for Kennedy is the copper. So he loves it. He's a fan. And again, this is a guy. What is Kennedy? 72.
Yeah,
and thick bulldog. I mean, he looks great. Pops that top at the gym. That's again, great human, good leader.
Yeah. FSK of peptides, SQ versus IM versus IV. So, all right, let's run it down. It's just like a chain of command.
I'm lost here.
Right? Chain of command. All right. So, what are you going to get? Better absorption and transportation rate. Which one's going to be the best? So, when we start going down this line, subcutaneous is going to be the slowest to get in the bloodstream. Intermuscular will be second. IV will be the first. That's how it works. So whatever you're trying to do. Can you shoot peptides, IV, IM, or sub-Q? Yes, you can. Would I shoot IV? Probably not. I haven't never shot any peptides IV. It's just not what that's not what they say at the pharmacies. Can you do it? Possibly. IM, sub-Q? Absolutely, 100%.
Good questions here today, guys.
Yeah.
A good Wednesday. I like that.
Yeah. So after I get my labs done with y'all, let me know what I should take and not take and doses. Just signed up. Thanks. So if you got labs done with us, awesome. You're on track. If you were taking anything during your labs that you shouldn't have been taking, extracurricular that was not prescribed, let's say it's testosterone, we will go over these different things with you, try to get you off of what you're doing and get you on a right program. If you're not, and you've just done labs, and you're like, listen, you will get the guidance, the support, the personalized regimen, and anything you need afterwards as far as that goes from us. So you'll see how this works. Once we contact you and say, hey, listen, we got your labs, we're going to give you a little brief on the phone like here, and then we're going to schedule you for your consultation with the medical provider. That medical provider is going to give you a 30 to 45-minute consultation, very in depth, go over all your blood work, answer all your questions, and personalize a regimen on what you may need to be optimized or fixed, and then based off of what you're trying to achieve goal-wise. Like, hey, listen, I want to lose weight. I want to gain lean muscle. I want to be better in the bedroom. I want better mental clarity. I just want to feel better all the way around, whatever it is. We're going to help you out through that. We're going to give you the roadmap and help you to success. What's the best company to go to for peptides? Of course, Titan Medical Center. Dr. Fumbles, are you fumbling around with me?
Well played, sir. Well played.
Do you think that working out at home with no weights is good enough, or do I really need to find a gym? I would definitely find a gym. Not to say you couldn't work out at home. You could definitely work out at home. And without weights, you could do body weight and all different types of things. So you could definitely get a workout at home. It's not a problem. I mean, I don't know how many people had to adapt to this during the times of the last couple of years when all the gyms were closed down in some of these different states at that point. So, yeah, you could do it at home. But at that point, I like to go to the gym because there's different equipment I don't have at the house. And I like to change it up, and change it up to a good thing too as well.
Yeah, I would love to say staying home and just doing body weight workouts is great. And if you're first time working out, there's probably some good months that you can do just doing calisthenics at home and push-ups and stuff. But I would say, and this is for everybody here, and I think this is number one reason I jump on here every Tuesday or Wednesday with Johnny, is that at some point you have to look at yourself and say, if I can be 1% more doing a better nutrition, 1% more over with Titan Medical, go to the gym and get a better workout in, and look at yourself and go, I deserve that. That's the way I would go. I would say, look at yourself and go, I need to.
Yeah. I mean, Devontae's got a white, Power Ranger suit on in his picture. I can see. At that point, man, you want that Power Ranger body, don't you? You got to go get it at the gym, man, for sure. 100%.
Keep us going, Jeffrey. Get some rapid fire here.
All right. I'm about to be 56. I started to work out 5 months ago. I hope I can build muscle going forward. Does age become a factor? So, no, Mike is 56 years old. Look at him. Age is not a factor. It's what's going on inside the body, right? Maybe you need some help there. Oh, man, that guy don't for sure.
What?
So, at that point, like, you want to make sure your testosterone levels, hormone levels are all good. At 56 years old, they're going to be in the dumps. If you're not on anything right now, for sure, 1,000,000%, to a certain degree. I mean, there's examples out there that's not true, but in most people, especially if you just started working out 5 months ago, you're probably going to need some help in different areas. Definitely give us a call. We'll definitely help you out with some blood work and tell you what you need and get you on track so you can start building some muscle. And yes, you're not out of the game at 56 years old. You're not out of the game. You're not out of the game. It might be the fourth quarter.
Yeah, you're on the back nine. So I got a question, though. If you started working out, you're 56 now. We're going to be 56, whatever that is. Did you do blood work? And I don't mean with your doctor. Did you do blood work through Titan Medical? The reason I ask is a common question is the 30-year-old, the 35-year-old. Can I still get in shape? And you're, mid-50s. So I'm assuming that there's that thought in your mind, hey, can I? And for me, I have no clue because I have no idea what you look like, how you eat.
Right.
I will say this. If you haven't been trained the last 10 years, holy cow, you're going to make some incredible changes. But again, it goes back to the blood work. There's no point for you to take this we're old, man. We're old. And you're taking this old body to the gym and you're just going, hey, I'm going to go through the motion. You don't know what's going on inside.
Yep.
You should 100, anybody on this, you're the number one guy that needs to hang up here, call that number and get your blood work done. There's no question about that at that age.
Call or text 727-389-3220. Titan Medical Center. Let's go.
Yeah.
How effective is
Sorry about that.
MK677? Dude, that was on point. That was so awesome. For sure. All right. So how effective is MK677? Super effective. Depending on where you get it. Make sure you get it from a legitimate source, from a pharmacy, right? We can help you out with that if you want to. But that's going to be an awesome one. Works very well. Do you like beetroot supplements? I don't really take any beetroot.
I'm gonna pull Jeff.
Is that a superfood?
1 second. Jeffrey, what is the deal? Is beetroot now the new thing about gut health and digestion and all that?
Dude, gut health and digestion pisses me off because it's like nobody had gut health and digestive issues until like 2 years ago.
Yeah. Right. Is that what this one is?
I don't know. I don't know.
Allergies too. I mean, like, who's allergic to milk? Now everybody's allergic to milk. Everybody's allergic to this. Like, peanut allergies through the roof. Like, and there are some kids like they get into anaphylactic shock. I mean, at that point, but I mean, this was not a thing in the 50s, right? If I could pick one time to go back to, it probably the 50s. That was my favorite time. That was the core family. That was when, your neighbors, you trusted your neighbors, you left the door open. People did the right thing all the time. We had good food sources, and there was none of this garbage that's out there now. Digestive issues, allergies out there, yin yang, and then, the other one, Adderall. So everybody has hypoactive disorders where they're all hyperactive instead of just getting a little butt whooped one time.
Chris Cormier sent me the best meme. He just goes, there was a time that you would get your ass kicked at 7:30 before school. I was straightening a lot of kids out. I'm like, that's
right.
Yeah, 3 o'clock.
When you came home, boy, when you came home, you knew it. When your dad gave you that certain look, or he said one thing, or your mom said, wait till I tell your dad, you were quiet then. You were just waiting. Are cable flies better than dumbbell flies? What's that?
What did you find, Jeff?
Brain health, digestive health, heart health, athletic performance, liver health, skin health. It's the miracle. It's the miracle one.
It's a miracle.
It's like one of those superfoods.
Yeah.
I've seen it like advertised like online, like there's a couple of supplement companies that have it or whatever like that. So
thanks, Jeffrey.
Never really looked into it.
All right.
Are cable flies better than dumbbell flies in your experience? I guess I don't know. I mean, I would utilize both, but I don't know which one would be better. To be honest with you, I like them both. I like doing cables a little bit better nowadays, but I like dumbbells. I did dumbbell flies yesterday, so I don't know. I mean, I like to change up.
Yeah. Here's the great thing: you can do both.
Yeah,
you can do both, and you're going to be training long enough to where you're going to do both. So, on any exercise, don't do the squats or leg press. Yes. Flat bench with the bar or dumbbells. Yes. All of it is yes.
Yeah.
They all do a little something. They all do. There's no optimal exercise like these your guys' gurus online say. They're all great exercises. They're all good range of motions.
It's true. Tips for chronic kidney stones: had about 5 by 28. Stop drinking pop.
Yeah, that's the number one thing. Yeah.
Drink water. Change your diet. Guaranteed you won't have as many chronic kidney stones. Guaranteed.
Those are painful. I've never had them. Get them, Greg.
Yeah.
A couple more, Johnny. What do you like here?
Sure. Yeah, of course. What are your thoughts on posing for development? Is it worth the time if you want to compete? I think it's worth the time even if you don't want to compete. I think the posing is key. You know how your body looks. You pump blood in there. I mean, it's everything. So I think posing is a good thing. And I think, maybe right after your set, you pose and see how it looks sometimes. I mean, I definitely think it's good for development. I think it's good for you to know how your body looks angle-wise too as well. Because, like, if you're at the beach, right, or you're somewhere and there's pictures getting taken and you want to look really, really good for that girl, like every guy like that is in there knows how to pose, knows angles is everything. And this is what you kind of learn with the posing, I think. I don't know. I've not done as much posing as Mike, but at that point, like that's what I would get out of posing because I've never competed like that. So
everybody here that works out poses. When you're doing a lat pull down, you're actually posing that back. You're contracting that back. Now, if you don't have a good back, then you're not posing. You're not moving through. You're using your arms to do it. You're using speed to move through that exercise. Posing is essential. You don't need to compete, but you should learn how to pose. Great job, Johnny.
Thank you. Learn for the best. In what ways are free bars better than a Smith machine? Some people say you can isolate better on Smith machines. I prefer free bars, but wanted to hear your take on things. So for me, this is just my opinion on things. I mean, listen, Smith bars do isolate to a certain extent, but your stabilizer muscles when you're on a free bar, I think what makes it, right? I mean, that definitely helps. I think you can utilize both, to be honest with you. And you probably should be able to, I don't know, some people say they can do more on a Smith machine than they can do on a free bar. And that might be because the stabilizer muscles, whatever. I'm about the same.
Stabilizer muscle with the bar. Smith machine is a great exercise and use it. Yeah. Again, you ever done almost like sissy squats on, you want to do a crazy squat, go over to the Smith machine and put your feet straight down, not in front, straight down, and then try to lower into that position while keeping your ass tucked. It's a different world. Your quads will be on fire. Do some high necks with the Smith machine. Again, great. But the foundation work, in my opinion, should be stabilizer muscles to keep your body healthy. And that's why the free weights are so important. And again, at some point, unfortunately, maybe you end up that you're just doing machines because of age and how the body feels. But if you can, slow it down, minimize the decline, everybody here. Minimize the decline. And that starts at 20. It doesn't start when you're 30 or 40 or like the guy today, 55. It starts when you're 20. If you're smart about exercising, you guys can do this like Robbie Robinson for a lifetime until you're 80 and look like a freaking goat like Robbie. So, again, Jeffrey, give me another. Johnny's on fire.
Sure. What do you guys think about supplements like HMB, Peak O2, and DHEA? So HMB, I know a little bit about it. I think that would be an all right one, I guess, to take. It's supposed to help in breaking down branched chain amino acids in the body too as well. Peak O2, I don't know what that is. I'm sorry, guys. DHEA, obviously I know what DHEA is. Now, DHEA is only going to be good if you're low on DHEA. If you're taking too much DHEA, it's really not going to have any benefits. That's where you should blood test, and you can see where your DHEA level is at. Majority of females usually have lower DHEA. I don't see too many guys that do. And if they do, they have low testosterone. And at that point, once your testosterone comes up, DHEA also comes up too as well.
I love DHEA. And HMB is making a comeback right now with some new studies. Yep. I do my HMB with my creatine bonds and also carbohydrates. So those are good. But I'm like Johnny with the other one. No idea.
I don't know what Peak O2 is. I'll have to look it up.
I thought it was a comic
6'5".
I thought it was a comic book character.
I know it's 6'5", right? I'm 6'5" and had problems to get bigger shoulders. Any tips to help grow big shoulders for tall people? I don't think it's necessarily just because you're tall. It's hard to develop tall shoulders. I think it's just a routine of maybe what you're doing. At this point, what is the routine of what you're doing? Are you doing some good shoulder presses? Are you getting up in weight? Are you making a 3D of your shoulder, like doing exercises to make your shoulder 3D look? Your front, your back. I mean, it's all important. So, I mean, if you're hitting all angles of your shoulders and you're starting to go up in weight, are you getting stronger in your shoulders too as well? Shoulders usually doesn't take that much to start firing up the shoulders. I mean, lightweight can start it.
Next 6 weeks, start with rear delts, and you're going to train shoulders twice a week on Monday and Thursday, and then work your way around the shoulder. So you're going to overstimulate it for the next 6 weeks. Make sure the nutrition's on point. Make sure that you're eating well. You're going to finish with the presses. So rear delts, move around to the sides, some fronts, finish out with some uprights, but both on Monday and Thursday. go just bonkers. Go bonkers. Delayed growth, and try that for the next 6 weeks. Everything else has to be on point. And I'm assuming, I'm telling you this, and you're moving through the exercise and posing through the exercise, because I see shoulder work. People swing the side laterals. They don't press because pressing is through the woke community is a bad thing to do. So it's like, you got to make sure that you're doing all the exercise and you're moving through it right.
Also, Hercules Potion can help push more blood in there. Definitely get up there. I would definitely inject in your delts, and it would be insane in the membrane. Guaranteed.
That's cheating. That's cheating. 2 shots in those rear delts. Wear a nice little tank top. You walk in, everybody's be looking like, wait, Flex Wheeler?
Yep. Those big round boulder shoulders you'll have for sure. I'm 28 years of age. Nutrition advice for someone who has bone condition, osteogenesis, imperfecta type 1, that is collagen based, who has just had surgery yesterday for skin issue. Man.
Hey, thanks for being here. Proud that you're here. Proud that you're on this. Proud that you're asking questions, my man. This would be a more in-depth conversation, a much more in-depth conversation to help you out there. I don't want to throw out just basic nutrition advice for you, but you can get a hold of Titan Medical, or you can get into the Titan crew with me, and I can help you out on the nutrition.
I think definitely get with Mike on the nutrition if you want some help, especially with getting over the surgery, skin issues, BBC, TB500, glutathione. I think these things will definitely help tremendously as far as that goes. And obviously, Mike, getting your nutrition on point is just going to be the killer combination to help you, get where you need to go. What are your thoughts on casing before bed? I don't really like it. I don't know. What about you, Mike?
I mean, that's what they say again, go to, but you got a nutrition plan set up, right? And so you go off of the nutrition plan. Is your last meal a steak? Is your last meal a salmon? Or is it the protein drink? I just see that people hear a buzz and they go, hey, I heard that you should do the casing before bed. Oh, all right, well, you're already taking in 300 grams of protein. So 350 doesn't make sense. So you guys got to figure that out instead of just hearing something that's a fancy little go-to.
What's the best way to do a cut? Oh, you're going to go into a calorie deficit, right? And,
now Jeff's just messing with us.
Oh, yeah, right. He used to pick them all. Calorie deficit.
Yeah. Best way to do a cut is right.
Is cardio vital before training? Absolutely not.
Cardio before training?
Yeah.
Is that what it says?
Yeah.
Well, why would you use the glycogen that is used for the muscles for the workout to get on to cardiovascular, which is just you're burning out the glycogen that's going to help you get now. So you get on cardio, you burn out the glycogen that's used for weightlifting, and that's why you have the glycogen. Now you don't have glycogen going into the workout, and it's a great way to absolutely destroy your gains.
Elbow dunk. Can I get a Titan Medical in Canada? Listen, don't worry. You guys are going to be the 51st state here very shortly. And when that happens, we're going to be able to service the 51st state tremendously. Wow. The best. I promise you, the best.
Could you imagine that? That is huge, kid, if that happens.
It would be huge. It would be tremendous for them and us.
I think Bobo's over there and Jeff's over there, and I know they love French women, so this is great for them as well. One last one. Give us a good one.
All right. Hey, Mike, 29, 6'3", and now 255 after starting at 233 in January. Calories are close to 5.2 thousand now, and lifts are better than they ever have been, and finally starting to crave the meals. So happy I didn't give up. Any other thoughts? That's pretty good. That's really good. That's a lot of calories to eat.
And he said some incredible, intelligent things in that. So I picked up on that statement he just made. For anybody else that's here that's layman's to this, he says he's starting to get hungry now at that calorie intake. So what that means is, and this is just January. So he went from this weight to this weight. And he just goes, boom, here's my calorie intake. And then his body adapted to the amount of calories. And I love that, to the amount of calories that he was taking in, and it sped up, and was working. So,
yep.
Dude,
huge.
Great job.
That's awesome.
Great job. Smart.
Yep.
Daniel,
we do work in Minnesota. Oh, sorry, guys.
Yeah,
nationwide type medical.
Too.
Yeah.
Nice job, kid. On the next one, let us know what your protein intake is at that calorie intake.
I lost 8 to 9 kilograms in around 40 days. I'm getting a little loose skin. I'm training the abs. Will it prevent the skin from getting more loose?
Go with it.
So basically, listen, man, you lose so much weight in a short time like that. Skin elasticity needs to start catching up. It will start catching up hopefully for you. That's where you can use some different things like maybe GHKCU if we have it, or some collagen, some other collagen-based ones like Proline injectable would probably be another good one that's collagen-based. But abs aren't going to fill in all your loose skin if that's what you got in your stomach area.
Titan Medical has some good cream. I would start doing
Titan Fat-Burning cream.
Start doing the cream now on the abs and the lower back, even though maybe it's not in certain places. Start preventative now as you continue to come down in weight. Proud what you did, man. Great job. A lot of people can't do that, so good for you.
It's huge.
Yeah, good for you, Johnny. We have to fly out of here, my man.
No problems. I appreciate the time, man. Always. I love talking with you guys and miss you guys already, like I said. So it's just awesome getting to see you.
We will definitely do again another trip here. It can't be that long in between. And again, we had a freaking blast. It was so fun hanging with the family.
I know.
And guys,
awesome.
Go over and check out for you parents. Go check out his 15-year-old, who's a tower of a stud pitcher. And you can always follow John, Titan Medical, ask questions. And for a lot of you, remember I mentioned that you give that call, get that blood work and find out what's going on.
Yeah.
Any last words, stud?
That's it, man. There is 10% off weight loss therapies this week. So if you want a weight loss therapy, 10% off.
We did that one right. Thank you for the donation, my friend.
Yeah, it was awesome.
All right, brother.
I appreciate
Thanks for
it.
hanging.
Hey,
thanks everybody.
Cast at the Arnold. I'll talk to you later.
Talk to you, buddy.